What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so tonight, the Oklahoma City Thunder once again faced the Portland Trailblazers. It was Portland that back on November 5th gave the Thunder their only loss of the season, a 2-point defeat. There was also a game that the Blazers came back from 22 points down, and it was one of the rare games that the Thunder blew a lead. Tonight, it was a closer game. It was nip and tuck for a little while, but the Thunder were able to pull it out, and they won 123 to 115. Shai Alexander had 26 points. Chet Holmgren had 19 points and 9 rebounds. And the Thunder improved now to 20-1 on the season. This is one of the great historic starts in the history of the NBA. It was back in 2015-16 that the Golden State Warriors started the season off 24-0. And I believe that's the greatest start in NBA history. They finished the season 73-9. Though they fell short in the NBA Finals to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Chicago Bulls, at one point in 95-96, started the season off 5-2. But then they reeled off something like I think an 18-game winning streak, lost, and then had another, I think 17 or 18 game winning streak, and they wound up 41-3 to start the season. This Thunder team right now is kind of on that trajectory. And they're on pace. I'm not saying they're going to do it because the Western Conference is much more competitive, I would say, than it was 10 years ago. But they're on pace to win 78 games. In the second game back from the wrist injury, Jalen Williams had 16 points and 8 rebounds in 34 minutes to play. Excuse me if I butcher these names, okay? But for the Portland Trailblazers, Denis Avdija finished with 31 points and 19 rebounds and 10 assists. Toumani Camara had 19 points and 8 rebounds. And Jeremy Grant scored 18 for the Portland Trailblazers. The Thunder are winning games by a margin of almost 16 points a night. It's the greatest point differential in the history of the NBA. By all metrics, as great as they were last year when they won 68 games, they're an even better team this year, as hard as it is to believe. They have one more year of experience on their belt. Shai Alexander had an effortless 26 points tonight. Didn't even shoot the ball that much. I think he shot the ball maybe 15 times. Finished with 26 points. I don't think he's really overly concerned about the scoring title. If it happens, it happens. I think that they're more concerned about winning. I don't think Shai is overly concerned about stats. I mean, because if he was, he would just be staying in game stat padding. When I think he would much rather just rest in the fourth quarter, have the other guys get in-game experience, and have them improve as a team overall, so they get that experience, that late quarter, or I should say late game experience that oftentimes they wouldn't be able to get if they're on other teams. And it also gives Shai rest. But it's not load management because they're taking care of the business. He's playing, but they're beating the hell out of teams so easily at times that it gives him and the starters rest. That's smart. Speaking of load management, man, I know I didn't feel about LeBron James earlier tonight, man, but I was looking at their schedule, man. I don't think I've ever seen an easier month for a team in my life. Do you know that the Lakers, remember, they already had a stretch. I think it was right before LeBron James came back. No. It was when he came back. Remember, when LeBron came back and there was a stretch where they didn't play basketball for 5 days, Lakers had a 5-day break. Do you know next month the Lakers have an 8-day break from basketball? They play on December the 10th, right? They don't play again until December the 18th. And you would think that there'd be a whole bunch of like back-to-backs throughout the month of December to make up for it. No, it's just one that I saw. Just one. That's before the 8-game stretch. And we all know LeBron James now probably going to load manage that one. But then again, he probably won't load manage because, he only can miss 2 more games the rest of the way as far as him being eligible for all NBA selections and shit. But, getting back to Shai, the media not giving this guy the credit that he deserves, man. They're really not. He's only really getting praise from us in the LWC. You got your usual suspects out there, your Scap Attacks, your Uncut Sports, some of these other, cretins out there who have their own covert reasons as to why they won't give Shai credit. A lot of them usually in the tank for guys like Jokic and others. And at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are hypocrites because they'll talk about in any other year when a guy's putting up gaudy stats, but they don't have the best record, and the guy that they're rooting for has the best record, they'll say it's about winning. Like that year when I think Denver was like at the top in the Western Conference wins, right? But then when that don't suit the narrative, then it becomes his stats. Or they make excuses that the team around him isn't good enough. Never mind that for the vast majority of the season, Shai didn't even have the second best player, and it still had the best record. So that's a lame excuse. To me, the top stat is that stat you see at the end of the game when it comes to wins and losses. That's the most important stat, right? I mean, that's what y'all tell me when it comes to Wilt. All these years, when I talk about Wilt and his great numbers, what do y'all tell me? A lot of y'all say, hey, man, that's great that Wilt put all those numbers up, but at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses. He couldn't beat Bill Russell. Okay, well, who gives a fuck about Jokic's numbers if, A, the Thunder had the best record last year, they got the best record this year, they're winning at a frequency that we haven't seen since peak Golden State Warriors. Statistically, you can even make an argument they're more dominant than the Warriors, considering the level of competition. Why is not the same argument for Shai? Everybody was going through Steph Curry mania 10 years ago. Remember that? And Steph at that point only had one MVP and one championship. Everybody was all about Steph Curry. But with Shai is crickets. Well, he's not American. Well, neither is Jokic. What other excuse you gonna come up with? But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.